Hey y'all, my name is Jay Helms, and in case we haven't met before, I am the founder of the W2 Capitalist, and I want to give you my story on the second investment property my wife and I ever purchased that gave us a 396% return in just 3 years of holding it, right? So the backstory here is late in 2014, we bought our very first rental property. It was a 600 square foot, one bedroom, one bath house. We had an amazing tenant. Things were going extremely well. Right then and there, I know we caught the addiction to this real estate investing bug, right? We had caught a sickness, as I like to call it. So my wife and I started looking, all right, how do we scale this? How do we go bigger, right? And we started looking at the smaller multifamilies, those properties with 2 to 4 units, where from a lending perspective, they are treated just like single family homes. You can get really good financing with them. But we wanted to accomplish we wanted to exponentially grow our cash flow so that we could become financially free, so that we could do practically whatever we wanted. We just had our first kid at this time, and we were hoping to have more, and we did. But having kid number one, it really made us realize what financial freedom could actually mean for us as a family, right? But during this process, we hit a wall, right? That wall that we hit when looking for that first small multifamily, it was super hard to find one that hit all 3 of our investing criteria. By that, I mean, it took us over 12 months and 4 offers before we put one under contract, which is crazy to think 4 offers used to mean like a lot of offers back then, because now it's like I submit 1 offer a week. But now it's just kind of crazy. But the epiphany that I had during this process was, stick to your criteria, right? We know what had worked for us on that single family, that first deal. So all we got to do is rinse and repeat it, right? Until we find out differently. Definitely don't listen to anyone else, especially when those people don't have any experience or haven't accomplished what we're trying to accomplish, right? Our plan to find this small multifamily that hit all of our criteria was to work with realtors, scour the MLS, set up triggers on Craigslist, and constantly explore those for sale by owner sites. But most importantly, our plan for this, was to stick to our criteria, right? We knew what had worked on that very first deal. We just got to rinse and repeat it. But we ran into a few conflicts. We ran into during this process. We found realtors who wouldn't work with us because our offers were too low, right? It kills me today, that whole conversation. Our patience was definitely tested because it took us over 12 months to find this duplex. One guy told me to go F myself when I made an offer to this for sale by owner. Anyway, totally different story. But we ran into issues with the bank that we were using. They wanted to keep extending the closing, and the seller almost walked away. But we kept after it, right? We closed on this property, and after just 3 years of owning it, we sold it with a total return of 396%. Just, it amazes me right now, right? It's freaking incredible. So the mental transformation that I went through was find a realtor that is willing to represent you, right? Who's going to work for you and not just someone who wants to get a deal done. Side story on that, I've now closed, that same realtor who helped me close that deal, I've now closed 13 deals with him, right? And it was all because he was willing to do what other realtors weren't. He jokingly now calls me Mr. Lowball, but that's just the kind of relationship we now have, right? So the second transformation I had with this duplex is realizing with the right team in place, we can buy and hold anywhere, right? Now, the property I'm talking about, this duplex I'm talking about, is literally 5 miles down the road from where I'm standing right now. It is 5 miles from our primary house. And get this, I've never been inside it. It still blows my mind to this day. But the property was occupied when we bought it. We passed those tenants on to the new owners when we sold it. And during our buying due diligence process, our inspector, who we had used several times and trusted, he did his thing. And then our Class A property management team performed all the maintenance, the collections, and everything that needed to be done while we owned it, right? So I've put together this 10-step guide to buying and holding a small multifamily rental property, which you can download for the cost of just providing your email address. That's it.